Hello. For my capstone project, I created a Power BI sales report entitled CRM Insights for Managers. I analyzed customer relationship management or CRM sales data for Maventech, a fictitious company that specializes in selling computer hardware to large businesses. They're using a new CRM system to track their sales opportunities, and they would like to use a data visualization tool outside of their CRM system. The dataset contains records from October 20th, 2016 to December 31st, 2017. It includes details for sales opportunities with information such as the product, account, sales team, and whether the sale was won or lost. However, it does not include sales data for January or February 2017, which affects the results for the 2017 annual and quarter 1 analyses in this report. I created an interactive Power BI sales report to empower sales managers to track their team's quarterly performance. This report primarily focuses on Maventech's sales in quarter 4 of 2017. Sales manager goals typically include meeting or exceeding key performance indicators, which are also known as KPIs. They also need to understand the current insights about their team and obtain actionable information. Some of the questions they have include, how is my team, both as a whole and the individual team members, doing based on our key performance indicators? Are there team members who need extra support in certain areas? Where should we focus our efforts to improve performance? And is my team performing above average compared to the rest of the teams? I begin this report with an overview for all teams for the business for the entire year. And I did total sales by product and total sales by sector. As you can see, the top 3 selling products are the GTX Pro at over $4,800 each, the GTX Plus Pro at over $5,400 each, and the MG Advanced, which is over $3,300 each. All of these are in a mid-price range. And the 4 products that brought in the least amount of sales are the MG Special at $55 each, the GTK 500, which is over $26,000 each, which is a big jump, the GTX Basic at $550 each, and the GTX Plus Basic at a little over $1,000 each. And as you can see, the top sectors are retail, technology, and medical. And even though services and employment tail in the sales, they still brought in almost $1 million. Now, if we take a look at the current quarter performance for all teams, this answers one of the questions regarding how is my team performing compared to the rest of the teams. So I listed the sales managers on the left, and then you can see in each category how they're doing. For total sales, the number of deals won, the average sales value, average weeks to close, the number of deals that are engaged, and the number of deals prospecting. One of the ways, as you could see, only 2 of the teams are prospecting. One of the ways to improve performance for all of the teams and for the business throughout the year is to have all teams doing prospecting and engaging with new customers in every quarter. If you'd like, you can click on each of the sales managers' names to see how they did in each category. And since Melvin Markson's team did really well in most of the categories, and he did prospecting, I'm going to focus on him for this report. And if we look at current quarter performance by team, this page answers the question regarding how is my team as a whole and individual team members doing based on our key performance indicators. So this section here and this section here talk about how the team is doing overall. And then the performance by agent goes into how each agent is doing according to the different metrics. And what you can do is use this drop-down menu to select a different sales manager, and all of the numbers change and the names change according to each sales manager's team. Going back to Melvin Markson, as you can see, the sales were down by 12.6% in quarter 4 compared to quarter 3. However, the average sale value increased by 3.5%, and the average weeks to close is 4.4% faster. You can also take a look at the number of opportunities that are engaged at 215, as well as how much potential there is to close. You can also see the prospecting opportunities at 296, how much there is to close, and both of those combined is over $1.3 million. And if you take a look at this one, you can see that, like the rest of the company, the GTX Pro, Plus Pro, and MG Advanced provided the best sales. If you take a look at the number of sales and how much income was brought in, you can see that even though MG Special had 30 sales, it only brought in $1,673 compared to these two with fewer sales, but they brought in a lot more money. You can also see that there were no sales for the GTK 500. So two of the things that might be good for this team to focus on is to not promote the MG Special as much and attempt to promote the GTK 500 more. And if we take a look at performance by agent, the best performance is highlighted in this dark blue, and the worst performance is highlighted in dark peach. As you can see, Darcel is doing really well in all of the metrics. At 59%, it's doing far better than the other sales agents. The deals won are 94, which is more than double what the mid-performing sales agents are doing, and more than 4 times what Nisha is doing. Total sales are at $357,000, which is more than 3 times what the mid-range sales agents are doing, and more than 6.4 times what Nisha has brought in. The average sale value is also at least $1,000 more, and average weeks to close was only beaten by Marty here at 5.45. So in this answers who is doing well and who needs improvement. One of the ways to improve performance for the team is to see what is Darcel doing to get such amazing numbers, and then use that information to help train the rest of the team to increase their performance. And if Nisha is a part-time employee, these numbers make sense. But if she's full-time, then we really need to work with her with training and coaching to get her numbers up to at least being in a mid-performance range. And if we take a look at current quarter sales, you can see the total sales by sector, the top 5 accounts, total sales by product, and then the details about each one. And again, this is for Melvin's team. If you want to click on one of the accounts, you can see which sector it's in, the different products that were purchased, and then also which sales agent worked on that sale. And you can do that for any of the accounts. One of the things they need to do is increase their sales for the GTK 500. Now, if you take a look, Celia Ruch's team sold the GTK 500 in quarters 2, 3, and 4. So if we click on the GTK 500, you see which agents did the sales. It's Elise and Rosalina, and there's a third person, Marquita. If Melvin's team were to get these 3 people to help train them on how they promote the GTK 500, it could help Melvin's team improve performance in selling the GTK 500. And one of these sales details that you can see is that the average weeks to close, as well as the total sales value. If you take a look at performance over time, remember that January and February sales data were not included in the data set, which is why this number is so low. But at quarters 2, 3, and 4 are more representative. So quarter 2 had $591,000 in sales, quarter 3 over $767,000 in sales, and quarter 4 had over $670,000 in sales. And one of the reasons there may have been an improvement in sales in quarter 3 is, as you can see, the conversion was better in quarter 3 than it was in quarter 2 or in quarter four. So learning what the team did in quarter three and applying that to the future could help improve performance. Now, this graphic shows total sales by agent. As you can see, Darcel brought in over $1 million. That's more than 3 times what the next sales agent brought in, and more than 6.4 times what Nisha brought in. If you take a look, this opportunities by quarter shows engaging in green, lost are in gray, and blue is in 1. And it'll show you that they only engaged in quarter 3. And as I mentioned earlier, it needs to be prospecting and engaging throughout all 4 quarters to help the business continue over time. I also included a list of the opportunities, which can be organized by sector or by the account, including the engage date. And you can see some of these have been open a really long time, so it might consider whether that opportunity needs to be closed or if it's still viable. I also included a help page, and it mentions to see everything, you need to scroll down to the bottom. It includes notes about the data set and then also how to use the filters to see the prospecting deals. It also includes calculations for both the measures and the additional columns in the sales pipeline table. And I did that to help clearly communicate how I calculated the numbers to help increase the confidence that the sales managers have in the numbers. Thank you.